So what exactly is the ugly duckling syndrome? It describes the emotional and social challenges that someone goes through who was not considered attractive or likable as a child. This can be common if you faced colorism growing up, whether you were too light, too dark, too this, too that, whatever, the list goes on.
Hi! You're welcome! You know, you've become really beautiful. Your face is fairer, glowing. It must be marriage.
Don't you believe that? For 2 months, I've been using Fair and Lovely. It lightens the color of the skin in a natural and gentle way.
Really?
And also protects the skin from the sun. Listen to your elder sister and try it.
Perfect. So I'll make a beautiful bride like you.
Fair and Lovely makes you noticeably fairer.
When I posted my colorism video, The Toxic Lies About Beauty in South Asia, the sheer amount of you guys who expressed that you feel the same way, as in with the amount of colorism you faced when you were little, it's hard for you to love yourself today. It's hard for you to even look at yourself in the mirror to feel like you're good enough. The sheer amount of those comments was overwhelming, and honestly, you guys, that is so valid. It's so valid to grow up feeling that you're not good enough, you're not attractive enough, you're not likable or whatever. When you grow up hearing things like you're too dark from family members, or when you grow up seeing all the advertisements online, subtle and not so subtle marketing messages that are given to you growing up.
I've been using Fair and Lovely. It lightens the color of the skin in a natural and gentle way.
Really?
And not only that, also how, for example, South Asians are portrayed online, whether in movies, TV shows, or even vox pop, street interviews talking about which race you would not want to date. It's not hard to see why someone who is South Asian, for example, would feel like they're not good enough when they grow up, i.e. the ugly duckling syndrome. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Maryam, and on this channel we talk about all things fashion and lifestyle, and also as a way of saying thank you to you guys for all the love, support, and growth you've shown me in this entire year, especially in the last couple of months. I have decided to create a winter arc series to help you guys level up when it comes to self-love, boundary setting, people pleasing, toxic friendships, all the likes. Just my way of saying thank you to you guys for supporting me so much this year. If you're wondering what winter arc is, it's basically when you start pursuing your goals before the new year starts. So when the new year hits, you already have a head start and you're already in the flow and you're already on track to achieving your goals. So whether you felt singled out for being either too dark or too pale, or whatever it may be for the matter, this video is for you. Make sure to subscribe and also give this video a thumbs up so the message can spread as much as possible. When it comes to self-love, there are 5 things we need to work on. And the number 1 thing is self-acceptance. Self-acceptance itself sounds so simple to do. I mean, just love yourself. Just take it how it is. But it's harder than it sounds or than it looks, because the way we view ourselves is honestly ingrained in the thoughts that we've been continuously, repeatedly having for the last however many years. Could be your entire life until now. I mean, a long time. And our thoughts are so important because our thoughts impact how we feel, and that impacts how we act. If we can actually challenge the negative thoughts that we have about ourselves, we can start to see some growth with how we feel and how we show up in the world, how we act. I really struggled with self-acceptance when I was around the ages of 18 or 19. This was a really hard time for me mentally. To share something more personal about myself, I was diagnosed with scoliosis at the age of 18 or 19. And if you're not familiar with scoliosis, it's basically when you have a deformed or an oddly shaped spine. It really knocked down my self-confidence, like completely. Like honestly, no one around me knew that about me, but honestly, I was living every day not liking how I looked. I genuinely did not like taking showers, because when I took showers, I could really see and feel my back when I was like, you know, lathering soap, or whether it was catching my reflection in the mirror. I just did not want to see it. And not only that, I felt like I couldn't escape it. Even in my regular day-to-day life, even when I'm sat on a chair with backrest, I can feel like the weird sensation in my back, like it's not fully symmetrical, and it honestly felt like it was eating away at me. And one day, it sounds straightforward and direct, but it was honestly groundbreaking for me to just ask myself, instead of trying to change my spine to be back to what a regular spine should be. I mean, I did a lot of physiotherapy, like it was like 9 hours a day, something crazy like that for like 2 or 3 weeks. And while it got better, I was obsessed with making it like perfect and like the best it can ever be, which is basically not really the best thing for you was kind of toxic, because it made me really dislike myself, and it made me really feel like I wasn't good enough. Like I wasn't good enough for anything, because I felt like I was just not a confident person. Like I literally was not confident at all. It didn't really show. You wouldn't be able to tell if you looked at me, but honestly, internally, like I was just not in a good space mentally. And the way I was able to get out of that was through some form of self-acceptance. I didn't go from, oh, I hate my spine, to I love my spine in one day. But one day, with all the thoughts I was having, with all the thoughts in my mind, you know, the ones that come to you without even thinking, like, oh, I hate how I feel, I hate how this looks, I don't like this. I just asked myself, I challenged one thought in one day, and I asked myself, instead of changing it, what if we actually try to accept what it looks like and live life just, you know, accepting that this is what my back, this is what my body, my shoulder blades will just look like for the rest of my life. And like, it sounds straightforward, but the entire time I never considered for 1 second to even sit back and look at myself and be like, it's fine, this is just how I look, this is just how I am, and I'm just going to accept it. That thought never crossed my mind, but when it did, and when I even entertained it for 1 second, it honestly felt like a whole big weight was lifted off my shoulder, because I no longer was fighting myself for something I genuinely could not control. Like I was just accepting myself for who I was, and I was actually making myself feel grateful for having such a strong spine, such a strong back to, you know, help me do the things I love. Horse riding, weightlifting, working out, whatever it may be, even when it's not a conventionally looking spine. The number one thing I will say when it comes to your journey of self-love is to find a way to work towards accepting how you are, and this is just how you are. It doesn't have to be a day, it just starts by challenging one negative thought that you may be having. Once you are at peace with whatever it is that may be bothering you, honestly, no one can tell you anything because you yourself don't care. The second most important thing when it comes to self-love is about not caring what the world has to say, what people have to say about you. I mean, as a South Asian, we're so like accustomed to the phrase of log kya kahenge. It means basically, what are the people gonna say? And you don't even have to have it directly said to you by people in your life. Just by the movies you watch, by what you may overhear the elders in your life say about how they will be viewed by society if they do XYZ. It's very normal to care about what people have to say. It's normal to have that level of curiosity, that's fine. However, for what they have to say, for that to control your life and what you do in your life, that's where it gets toxic. Because it's very simple. A successful YouTuber with 1 million subscribers would never judge someone with 0 subscribers starting out. A successful businessman or woman would never judge a starting out entrepreneur. A successful homeowner would never judge someone trying to buy their first house. People who are actually fulfilled and happy with where they are would never judge you in the first place. So before you actually take judgment from people and value their thoughts over your own, maybe ask yourself if you'd want to swap places with them, and why they themselves in the first place are having those thoughts about you. Because it's normal to take advice from people around you whom we actually care about. I don't think it's healthy to not care about the people in your own life, because they do wish well for you, but also that to a certain extent. You should never place a massive importance on what others have to say about your own life, because at the end of the day, you're the one living it. And the biggest disservice you can do to yourself is to not do what you want to do because of what others have to say about you. The third thing when it comes to loving yourself is showing yourself that you value yourself. Now, if I were to ask you to go to a restaurant and sit there and order yourself a meal all by yourself, how comfortable would you feel to do that? It's probably a bit uncomfortable to think about, because you feel like you're all by yourself. People are gonna look at you, you're gonna feel like there's like the spotlight on you. It can be a very daunting thing to do. But when it comes to your self-love journey, you need to show yourself that you are valued, not only valued in your physical attributes, but also in your intellect and in your presence. I love going on solo dates every now and then, because I just have started to enjoy my own company. I'm not promoting you not meeting your friends at all. Do that, but also challenge yourself sometimes and go to places all by yourself and spend time all by yourself, because you may not realize it while you're doing it, but over time you basically are telling yourself through your actions that your time, your presence, your energy is so valuable and so great to be around that you want to be around it, and you want to give it to yourself as well. Because when you are out with someone else, they're taking a bit of your energy as well. You're giving it to them. It's a normal energy exchange. They're giving you, you're giving them. But when you're out with yourself, you're giving it all to yourself. yourself, and you're reminded about how much you love yourself and how much you love your own energy. And you also end up feeling great about yourself because it's basically you telling yourself through your actions that your energy is beautiful and you enjoy it regardless whether you're with someone else or not. The fourth thing that I think is so important when it comes to your self-love journey is to journal. Journaling is something I've been doing for such a long time. When I was little, I used to journal in my little diary. I used to have this pink sparkly diary, and even now as an adult I really enjoy journaling and writing down my feelings, the things I'm grateful for, the things I'm working towards. And when you're on your self-love journey, as I did as well when I was on my self-love journey, I used to write about the things that I loved about myself that were not to do with my physical attributes. It was basically things like my intellect, my grit, my motivation, my drive, things like that, and constantly reminding it to myself every single day by penciling it down. I find it to be very different when you pencil something down over when you just press some buttons and type them, and it's up to you. But when you really take the time to pencil things down, you really are reminding yourself who you are by your words. It's important to have a bit of both. I mean, actions, like the previous point we spoke about, spending time by yourself, and also by words, writing down the things you love about yourself and the things that you're working towards. Honestly, it does wonders. The fifth and most important thing, honestly, is compassion. Showing yourself compassion. I love this word because it honestly feels like a warm, gentle hug. Being compassionate to yourself is basically you telling yourself, it's okay, I'll try again when you miss one day of working out, for example. Being compassionate with yourself is basically you reminding yourself that you are human and you're not a robot that has to have the exact same schedule every single day, and if you mess up, it's the end of the world. Self-compassion is about when you're on your self-love journey, and if you do have a few days where you know you're not doing as well as you thought you would be, that's where self-compassion comes in, and that's basically what picks you up again. Because I'm really against the whole hard love on yourself in a way of, like, you know, making yourself feel defeated and deflated if you mess up one tiny thing in like your goals or whatever. I find that being compassionate with yourself, acknowledging that you're still human and you're still gonna try regardless, in a way more healthy and sustainable than being super hard on yourself. Compassion is so important because we are so quick to show kindness, love, and compassion to others, but when it comes to ourselves, we feel the need to be extra hard and extra difficult with ourselves. But self-love is also recognizing and understanding that the love and care that you show to others, you yourself also deserve. It's not only meant for others. You have so much value, you're worth so much that you also deserve these things, and no one can take that value away from you because it's intrinsic. You're born with it. No one can take that away from you. It's normal to grow up feeling like you don't have it when you have all these messages set to you in indirect to direct ways, because those messages and those messagings impact your thoughts. They impact the way you think, and that impacts how you feel, and that impacts how you show up in the world, how you feel about yourself. But after this video, I hope you guys understand that the number one thing is your mindset, how your thoughts are. And honestly, once you start challenging any negative thought, once you start self-accepting, journaling, spending time by yourself, and being compassionate with yourself, I promise you it's going to change your life. And as you're in your winter art era, honestly, this is the best place to start, by some self-compassion and by showing yourself the self-love you deserve, because you totally deserve it. I believe it, and I want you to believe it as well. And I'm so happy that you guys found my channel. I'm so happy our community is growing, and let me know your favorite part about this video in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe because we're gonna have more winter art related videos coming up. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
You're gone now. Will you come